Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream if you are new. My name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we hop on these charts on this beautiful Tuesday, May 5th. Tuesday, May 5th, man. Cinco de Mayo? Right? Is today Cinco de Mayo? Make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you always do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Lights out on futures code RDF, Bookmap, all of the other fun firms that I am partnered and affiliated with, other software companies, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. Important for me to note that and for you to do your own dang research and make your own dang decisions. Chat, what's going on, guys? Just realized I forgot to do something here this morning. What's happening? Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Happy to have you here with me live. Welcome. Welcome, 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 man. Appreciate you guys for hopping on as always. Go ahead and throw this in here everywhere. Bang! Chat! What's up, man? We got a few minutes to NYSE Open. We are about 6 minutes away from NYSE Open. What's going on? Good morning, America, says Ivan. What's up? AK, what's happening? Hamed, what's happening? Dwayne, Vincent, for a break, Sam the Trader. Ivan, I don't know what that one is. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce any of you guys' crazy YouTube names. Digital Nukes, what's up? What's happening, guys? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys hopping on, man. Welcome to the show. Let's see what we can do here today, man. Let's see what we can do here today. Sorry, just checking a couple things. Make sure everything is rolling. Cool, we are good here. So, ended off the day, the live stream yesterday with an L. We'll see if we can't bounce back from that. Did have to take an L on that trade from yesterday. Part of the game. Part of the game. Was sitting about break even on the long. It did pop nicely, but not before wicking all the way down. Actually, I'm so sorry. Here we go. Wicked right down in here and stopped me out. Yeah, that was the stop out here. Actually stopped me by a tick. This traded down to the 16. I think my stop was at 17. Nasty, but would have closed out down around the lows and generated an L. Part of the game. We did not get that bounce back up here to this area of high volume. Really didn't get that reversion after selling off aggressively. Not into the open. We did crack here. So, not a terrible trade. I'm not super stoked about it. Not super stoked about that L. But part of the game, man. I'm going to take those trades as they come. As you can see today, we are drifting back higher. Overnight session, kind of just a drift back up. On YM here, we closed out down around the lows. We've held VWAP through Asia, through London. And we're starting to pull back on coming off of these highs from Friday here. If we take a look around the horn at all the US indices, NQ remaining incredibly strong. It just is buy every single dip on NQ. It's been that way now for a couple weeks. It's crazy how fast we got back above all-time highs after how long it took for us to just drift and chop lower. NQ continues to just be an absolute powerhouse, pushing to the upside, breaking prior day high, day over day over day, not touching prior day low. If you're trading NQ, I'm sure there's going to be a good short coming somewhere, but it probably would not have paid you really nicely over the last couple of weeks. I'd be incredibly careful on the short side on NQ. YM, you can see why I am shorting YM a little bit more. In general, it's just not nearly as strong. ES, very similar. Not showing as much strength as the leader of these three, NQ. But still much, much, much stronger than YM. As you can see here on YM, very different structure. Not only did we not get even towards all-time highs, we did not just continue to push to the upside. In fact, we've had multiple days in here where we did not crack prior day high. And not only that, we continued to crack prior day low. So very, very, very different structure on YM, which is kind of par for the course. YM just traditionally has different price action market structure. It is a US indice, but it is weighted very differently than NQ and even ES, right? ES, of course, very different than NQ and YM. These are all different US indices. NASDAQ, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, NAS 100, the S&P 500, and good old US 30 as the CFD, right? The Dow Jones Industrial 30. So, look at the structure here. Kind of getting choppy, man. Kind of getting dicey. Again, not super stoked by the L yesterday. It looks like we're chopping here. This is what I was shooting for, that we don't just sell off all the way through. I had to take a stop right at yesterday's low before we bounced back off of that, as you can see. Trading 300 points off that low already. Asia London looking strong, but not really incredibly strong. Let's take a look at these real quick as well. Yeah, very similar structure through Asia London. Really just a clean trend to the upside for all of these, right? Yeah, ES looking the same. We got 10 a.m. news today. I don't mean to give you the huff and puff right off the bat, but this is just, it hasn't been fantastic for me to work with for NYSE on YM. Just really hasn't. As of recent. I don't want to be the complainer because I've been making, some pretty good money over the majority of this year. Pretty slow start into January, but we kicked off in February and really haven't looked back until, this past couple weeks started to get a little bit back and forth. As we get ready to open up here, right into the open, again, we have 10 a.m. news. We don't have any crazy headlines kicking off just yet this morning. 10 a.m. red folder. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. I would love to put $1,000 in the Top 1 Futures instant funded account that I'm trading here with you guys right now. A 50K OG instant funded. Would love to put $1,000 in here and take a payout. I think I need 940 or something like that in this one specifically. We'll see what we can do. Looking at, marking out some levels here. I don't love this structure for a mean reversion. If I'm going to short it, I'm going to short a pop to the upside. If we pull back down in here and then push, I'm not going to short YM. I'm just going to try to have a little bit more guardrails. Like, this long wasn't terrible just on the, the area of interest in here, but not great, right? I got long down below pre-market low, but I mean, after a test higher, after holding VWAP and then headline to the downside, I'm not stoked about taking this loss, right? So I'm going to try to get a little bit clearer with you guys today and tell you really what I'm looking for and not do anything stupid. If I don't get one on YM, I'm going to really try to find one on NQ, right? And, part of trading with props is you do have to try to find trades if you're going to put profitable days in, right? So here's what I'm looking at. Right? Mean reversion style play off the open. We're at pre-market high. If we come back through VWAP, that's the mean reversion, right? That's the trade playing out. So if we do this, right, like right back down in here, I'm not gonna look for a short. If we push to the upside off of this next area of high volume, I will look short. Right in here, okay? Top end of this volume profile, right, really zoomed out as you can see that readjusting. Yesterday's value area high, right? Volume point of control is all the way down in here. But this nice chunk of volume in here, right? I'd look short off that. That would generate a nice quick trade for me. Right? Something in here. We come back down, we chop around before news, which is kind of what I expect. Gun to my head, I'm short right now, down to VWAP. I don't have a gun to my head, and I don't think that's a great trade. But if I was scalping like an absolute psychopath, that is what I would be doing. Short right back to VWAP. But I'm gonna look short around. I like doing these at round numbers. Yeah, around the 20s. Let's say like 425s. Around the 425s. Again, if it doesn't give me anything, guys, I'm going to try to not take anything stupid here. I will look for something on NQ to take something stupid to attempt to put up a day. Again, a difficult thing we deal with props that we just don't deal with live accounts, right? For a long, if we came aggressively through this, I don't like the long as much. I don't. I will take it. I'll take it if I have to. Right in here. This would be the key area to take it. Yesterday's low, right? Key levels from yesterday, near the yesterday's close, yesterday's low. You can see down below some of these wicks that we've started to hang out at, although this is a pretty nice spot right here where we've tested it multiple times. We could just take off right from here and push to the upside, but I'd be looking short off of the 425s, long off of the 49015s. That's about the rough idea for me here on YM. Discretionary, right? Do I want to be short at 425? No. If I did, I would set a limit order here, right? I would click, and I would, you know, set a sell limit order at that price, right? I don't. I'm using discretion. I'm going to enter with maybe a market, maybe a limit, plus or minus, depending on what the heck we're doing, just to try to compensate for the terrible fills here on TradingView. Although, TradingView, if you're listening, I love you. I just don't love your fills. I don't love the way candles print. But it's not a great platform for trading. It's a great trading platform for charting and for automation and for tools and for custom scripts and indicators. In my opinion, it's not a great platform to hit the buy and sell button. But we're gonna see what we can do here. We're gonna see what we can do here, chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening, guys? What's happening? Welcome back. You guys are sleeping, man. We got light views across the board. Sleeping, man. What up, Kobe? What's up, Sloth? Kobe Clark taking a banger payout yesterday, man. We got someone in the community took was it $7,500 from Lucid? Let me go to the tape. Let me go to the tape. I love to give credit where it's due, man. I love to give credit everywhere, actually, regardless of $7,500 from my man Kobe Clark. He's on the live stream almost every damn day. Absolutely epic, man. Trading some Lucid accounts. I got to imagine that was a set of Lucid accounts. What were you trading, dude? Was that copy trading? Was it multiple of them? I think you could have probably done that with a bonus or something too, like a pro account bonus. But dude, awesome. 75 payout, $7,500 payout is fat, man. You know, most of the payout caps for accounts are down towards the $2,000 mark, $3,000 mark at the higher end nowadays for most accounts. So that's awesome, dude. Well done. Love to see it. Got plenty of other people. I know I'm giving Kobe a shout out. Plenty of other people in the community that are absolutely killing it as well. So don't let it sound like I'm being biased here. NQ off like a rocket, pushing all-time highs. Just buy NQ. I should have just been trading NQ for the last few weeks, just buying it every day. That looks like the play here, guys. ES following suit, opening up to the upside. YM living in his own world. Back down to VWAP. Like I said, gun to my head. If I had to take a trade right off the open, it would be back down to VWAP. Yeah, this is not going to present me with a lot today, man. Not going to present me with a lot. I can already see it. We come right through. I'm going to look to long it. Again, we have news at 10 a.m. What is the 10 a.m. news? This structure for NYSE just hasn't been wonderful to work with, man. I've had a lot of it over the last, like, 2 months. It was beautiful. Just clean setups back to back. You know, if I wasn't making money on YM, I probably missed something. This stuff, as of recent, hasn't been amazing to work with. You know, more trending markets, right? You know, just shallower pullbacks, no big sweeps of liquidity, key levels getting hit, kind of just like continuing to push in one direction. Like, we might find it right off VWAP here. We might find buyers right off VWAP here today and push to the upside. If we do come down to this level, come down through, you know, again, I am going to look long on this. It would be interesting to see if NQ and ES turn around and I to get stopped out and these pull back, or if these just rip to the upside and YM is the laggard, right? Usually they don't stay out of correlation for forever. But we could find it off of VWAP. We could find it down in here. I will look long for this to be the low end of what the hell we're going to do as we're pulling back. Excuse my language. But we could sell off. Could certainly sell off. We've come off the highs pretty aggressively here. Definitely come off the highs. Sorry, guys. Let me just take a look. I wanted to take a look at news. Tight range. Definitely tight candles so far. We got plenty of room to go one way or the other. 278 points. That is not a lot on YM, right? As you can see, you know, average candle ranges. You could use different tools for this. You could use an ATR. You can use Edgeful reports. You could use different statistics. You could just use your, you know, nice measurement tool. Take a look. Okay, what are we, you know, what are we putting in day over day, right? What's the average out of the last, you know, 10 trading days, right? You know, 15 trading days, 5 trading days, right? Do we have some room to go? You know, would it be very abnormal for us to close out with a super duper tight candle? You know, or have we already put in, you know, 1,000-point range, and it would be kind of unlikely for us to, you know, to keep pushing. That's how you can use average ranges to your advantage a bit. Let's see, pull back to VWAP. Obviously, we got buyers in here. This is going to be a key spot. Really interesting spot. Current volume point of control. Obviously, we chopped here after London opened up before taking off. We got VWAP here. We got yesterday's price action key level where I was getting long. Let's see if this holds up or if we got to come down here, explore pre-market lows, right? If we do, I'll be looking long. Would give me that mean reversion style from the extreme that I like. But we might find it right in here. Short back to VWAP immediately off the open would be paying. Let's see what this market's got for us today, guys. Let's see. I was looking at what we had for news. We have 10 a.m. ISM Services PMI and JOLTS job openings, along with new home sales. That's what we got coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern today. About 20 minutes. That is high impact news. I don't know that it's going to beat comments out of the Middle East these days. Market seems to really not care too much about really important scheduled data releases. And it seems to care a lot about what Trump has to say and, you know, developments in the Middle East like we saw yesterday. Let's see what the market's got for us today. Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. Let's see what we can do on a Taco Tuesday here. Yeah, ES pushing the upside. Not an incredible positive CVD, but a positive CVD. YM really can't break lower, at least for now. I think this thing could definitely start to turn. We're down here in this VWAP area. I'm curious to see if we push through. I like this long, guys. I do like this long for a continuation of this move. I'm trying to decide if I wanted to pull something really aggressive in here. I don't think I do. You know, I could run something with a 200-point stop with, you know, plenty of risk to make something work back up towards these highs. But this isn't a mean reversion trade, right? This is a from the middle of this range trade for a continuation. This would be more of a break and retest continuation. I like the mean reversion style trade much better on YM. Again, we haven't really been getting it. We just haven't been getting too much of it. It's just been these smaller movements off the open, not these over-exaggerated movements. But this is essentially what I'm going to be looking for in here, just to start to frame this out with you guys. Again, is it my favorite setup? Is it like the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my life? Not really. Not really. Something in here. A little something in here. That would do it for me. Let's see. Let's see. Kobe says 300K flex is copied. Nice, dude. Beautiful. Very, very nice. Taking a $2,500 payout from 3 of them. Very nice, man. Very nice. Lucid has been absolutely crushing it, man. Lucid's been absolutely crushing it. A lot of guys getting paid on Lucid for sure. If you guys want to check out Lucid, we'll talk about them in a little bit. Code RDF gonna get you the best deal. I'm gonna talk about account sizes today too. I'm gonna talk about some account sizes today. 100K, 50K versus 100K. Kobe, you're one of the only people that I know that trades 100K. It's not. Actually, there's like one dude that streams that trades 100K accounts. That just finds them like easier to do math on or whatever it is. Usually it's the 50K or the 150K. But some interesting differences that I want to talk about. A lot of traders don't pay attention to this stuff, and it is really important in my opinion. But I'm going to talk about why I loaded up with 150K Tradeify, Alpha, and Top Step accounts yesterday. I'm going to talk about that. When 50K has really been my preferred account type. I just have done better across the board on 50Ks. I'm going to see if that holds true coming into this next attempt at some 150Ks. So we're finding buyers in here, guys. I think we're quickly going to come back up to VWAP. Or, you know, this area of high volume here on YM, or we're going to come quickly down to this area of higher volume here on YM. I'm aiming for us to come down in here, right? Bang, and then bang. That's what I'm going for here. That's what I'm going for here. I don't know that we get that. ES and NQ continuing to push to the upside. It feels like we can't push lower. We got down here pretty quickly. You could see it on low time frames, and now we started to chop. We're finding buyers, not able to break. I think there is a decent chance that we just chop until this news at 10. I think there's definitely a decent case to be made to say that we don't do anything crazy until news at 10. I don't mind trading into that. That would be fine. I don't really care too much about this news. I don't find it to be like an NFP Friday that we have coming up, or FOMC or CPI. All of those I would prefer not to put a trade on, you know, right into it, regardless of whether or not we're at a key level. Just too much uncertainty with volatility. But I'm looking for a long in here, man. I don't know that I'm gonna get it. I kind of got this gut feeling that we're gonna pop in here. Definitely can't put a trade ahead of news on with a stop right here, though. That would be completely unreasonable. You know, news opens up, we could quickly do this, right? You know, and then decide what we're actually going to do, whether we're going to go lower or whether we're going to go higher. I think it would be unreasonable that we have a stop right at either one of these levels, unless you were going to go with something really tight, you know, that you were going to try to run ahead of news, which is not what I do, you know, not how I trade. But if I had to put a trade on, it'd probably be something like that. I don't have to put a trade on. I think that would suck ahead of red folder news. But let's see. Market's doing what I expect so far. Back down to VWAP. Finding buyers in here. Let's see if we come and dance around these lows. If we can get down to this level, down around pre-market. I was marking out below prior day's low. I don't have to wait for that. And in fact, I don't think that I'm going to. I'm going to be looking in here. Go. Nice pop out of YM. There's buyers getting found. Too tight in here, man. Just too tight in here. Market's moving, though, so let's see. Market is moving. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Fast Money, what's up? Good morning. Amor's Fit really feels like never-ending highs at this point. Yeah. Yep. A lot of people on NQ were calling for shorts like weeks ago, right? You know, market can't go any higher, you know, that type of feeling. And the market could always go higher. Market can do whatever it wants to do. Just picked up a Lucid account with RDF discount. Thank you. Hey, JNRV, and what's up, dude? Listen, guys, we got something fun in Discord. First off, if you're not in Discord, what are you doing? If you're not in Discord, here is the link to the 100% free community. If you're not in Discord, you are missing out, because there it is in YouTube and in Kick. You're missing out on a couple things. You're missing out on info on all of the best deals and giveaways, like, let me throw Lucid up on the board here. 40% off any eval, up to 5 of them with code RDF. But along with that, along with getting the best deal at Lucid and all of the other firms you see scrolling down on the bottom of this page, Top 1 Futures, Take Profit Trader, Tradeify, and Alpha Futures, you are also going to get an entry to win. We got the use code RDF giveaway rolling again. Going to get an entry to win some free accounts by using code RDF. Not only going to get you the best deal, going to get you free entries to win. Do you have to use a code in order to enter all of the giveaways? Nope. We do free ones here on stream as well. Watching volatility over here, guys, so I'm going to come back to it. But if you want info on how to get entries in for using a prop firm code, hop in Discord, man. More than happy to do that. Not only are you supporting me and supporting yourself with the best deal, you are also going to get entries to win free accounts, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty fun to do. Helps me battle the scammers and spammers. Volatility, this feels like headline news. I don't have Squawk on, but I am reading. As soon as that populates, I'll let you know what that looks like. Buyers in here, right around this level. Gosh, man, good read so far. Just way too tight to be executing in this choppy range. You know, on another day, these are stop outs. Today, it was back to VWAP for points, and, you know, buyers off these low for points. Just too tight for me, for my liking. But let's see if that gives us some headline news. Or if that was just some positioning. We have 10 minutes to red folder news, guys. 10 minutes to red folder news. Not major as far as like a CPI, NFP, FOMC goes, right? Maybe even unemployment claims, but it is red folder. It is high impact. Oh, let's see. Eric, what's up? 30MD30, what's up? How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm always doing good. Morning, good morning. Mike. Took the long on MNQ for $900 on a few scalps on the eval. Def better than yesterday's mess. Got you, man. Nice. Very nice, dude. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Waiting for some news to drop here. Waiting for some news to drop here. About 8 minutes to red folder news. Now, guys, I just want to prepare this. First off, make sure you hit live on the bottom of the screen. Make sure you hit live on the bottom left-hand side if you're watching on YouTube. It keeps dropping people off. I have people complain about it. I've tested it. There's nothing that I could do about it. It happens for other people's streams. It happens for my stream. But as we get ready for news, which I'm going to maybe do something quickly on, important to note that, if we crack down in here, even on news, guys, I'm going to look to buy this back up. I'm going to look to buy this back up. So I will be ready for that. I will be ready for that. And it's going to look something along these lines. Something along these lines. Yeah, about a 1-to-1 because that's all I need out of this. I might run this. I might run this a little bit more aggressively. I might run this a little bit more aggressively, like 2 minis on YM. I'm gonna try to push this one. If we just blast off, I'm probably gonna hop over to NQ and try to find something. Buyers found in here. If we pop on news and we come back towards the highs, there's really no mean reversion play setting up on YM. You know, we didn't pop to the upside to give me a short back down. We just came back down to VWAP, and now we've been hanging out. We are dead set at current volume point of control, and VWAP, we are trading right in the middle of today's candle. Just dead set in the middle. It's not my preference to pick a direction from the middle of the candle on which way I think we're going to continue and go for a break of the high or break of the low. In here, really aggressively with a wide stop loss. Looks like it'd be paying right now coming into news, but we'll see if that continues to hold. So, again, just to be clear on that, if we pop to the downside, if we rip to the downside, if we dump to the downside, however you want to phrase that, I'm going to look long into the 70, 80s, 49,000 70s, 49,000 80s. I will look for a long in here. Although there is nothing on the book down there and plenty up above. Yeah, YM, man. Just hasn't been as easy to work with for me structurally. But let's see. Chris, good morning. For a break, Intel shares extend gain. Yep, quite a few tech names are pushing the upside, so that is driving NQ higher for sure. Looks like it's going to drag everybody else with it, but that's definitely what we have going on here. Yep, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. Let's see. Yeah, I got a couple mantras. Let's see is the wait patiently and try to get a good trade on. It's been, like I said, though, it's been testing me. Definitely been testing me. I'd say through February and March and even the beginning part of April, YM was really easy to work with. Fade the initial aggressive movement off of the open, right back down towards VWAP, was, day in and day out. Really just paying well, right? Started to trend, that structure starts to look a little bit differently. Yesterday, today, it's more of the from the middle ground for a continuation that's been playing out, right? And I'm caught fading that continuation sometimes and taking a stop out. But that's okay, right? The goal isn't to pull up to the market every single day and just it's going to do exactly what you think it's going to do and present a great opportunity. It can get tough, right? You could try to find ways to adjust, which I have. Setting alerts throughout the trading session, throughout the day, running some overnight swing trades, right? Running some throughout the day swing trades. But these New York sessions have been, a little bit tricky. So I'm anxious to get a trade on. And I'll counteract that dumb human emotion that says, I only need a couple $100 before a payout here, and I need a couple trading days for a payout here, and I'm just going to do something stupid, right? I counteract that and wait patiently for a good setup to come and say, is this something I want to take an L on, potentially? Is this something I'm willing to pay the price of my stop loss to find out if it's going to work out? Am I willing to pay that business expense today? If not, I shouldn't be putting it on. So again, guys, we got about a minute and a half to red folder news. Let's see what we get from this one. see what we get from this one. Again, this is ISM Services, Jolt's job openings, Jolt's jobs, right? Jobs report, and new home sales. I read Jolt's job quits, which also comes out, but Jolt's job openings is the, is the main thing that people are watching here. But there's quite a bit stacked here for 10 a.m. coming out right now. I think it was also new home sales. Yeah, new home sales as well. So we got a bit of news here. Again, guys, I'm ready to roll on along if we catch the dump down to the bottom. I'm going to leave this off just so I could watch, but I will move that quickly if we get that. So far, pushing the upside right into it. Buyers found. Decent read, execution, leaving something to be desired, but this is not really my trading style. It's super duper tight stop losses and tight take profits, trading within, a 200-point range. Just not what I like to do on YM. I think if you're going to do that, you got to size down pretty considerably and give yourself a whole bunch of trades. See what we get here. Just looking at the initial reaction across all of these. Yeah, concern is that just takes off and goes. Man. It's not going to leave me with much to work with for this session if it does. NQ might be the name of the game. Scalping on NQ like an absolute psychopath. Which, traditionally does not pay me nearly as well as far as actual trading goes. It's great for scalping for your little flip days, but for me, NQ is just an absolute monster. Excuse me. So not a huge reaction out of this. We drove higher off these lows pretty aggressively. Right back towards the highs. We're turning back down here. I don't love this. I don't love this in general, guys. I got to be honest. It's why you could usually see it on my face and like hear it in my voice when I'm, really ready to take a trade, when something's setting up clean off of the open, and I can have a pretty good indication of when my setup is just like not there, right? It doesn't look like it's going to take a lot for structure to print to give me something that looks really good technically and that aligns with the way that I want to trade. So just hasn't been a lot of opportunity. Hasn't been a ton of opportunity here for me, which is okay. It could get pretty boring at times to try to not do something stupid. But, if I could talk about that, that's a lot of what trading is. It's a lot of what trading is. Not doing something stupid. Do you know what your setup looks like? Do you know what price action structure needs to look like for you to put trades on? Or are you just putting trades on all day, every day, randomly, with different volatility, different structure, trending, chopping, news, no news, you're all over the map, right? A lot of trading, as tough and annoying and frustrating and boring as that can be, is waiting patiently. For your setup to come. For me, it's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of that into NYSE Open. really has not been giving me what I need to get trades on. And the more I force it, the less patient that I am, the worse I tend to do in general. And I think most traders. Yeah, so again, guys, watch this thing come down. Tap into some overnight session lows. Pop back up after coming through VWAP. We come all the way back down through this. Like, I don't know. I really don't know here. This is going to look ugly if we come all the way through at this point. I would have preferred, and what I was talking about waiting to do, was if down here we did not pop immediately back up towards these highs and then come back through, we cracked lower and gave me a way to get long for a move back up, right? Now, we've got uptrend structure. We've got that holding on a sell-off down into the open and then a push all the way back up. Now up here with this type of structure, if we come back down through this, I don't know that my thesis is we push highs. In fact, it's really not. It's really not. If we chop like this, buyers can't take it higher. We defend this high up here, and we come back down through the lows really aggressively. I think we're starting to break structure, and we're making a case to the downside. I don't know that we just have to wick down here one more time before taking off. Like, I don't know that that's the case here. So I'm trying to frame this out, but there's something to be said for I don't know what's gonna happen next, and this structure is not giving me a lot to work off of. So I'm gonna stay patient, but I gotta say honestly, I'm getting a little bit impatient. I don't love having no trade sessions here with you guys in the live streams. I haven't had a lot of them this year at all. I've had more of them recently. We did trade yesterday. It was a trade towards the end of the session that ended up being an L. I'm going to try not to do dumb stuff on here just to put trades on, but I'm going to get a little bit antsy, right, as the market continues to just not give me setups. But that's usually what it does. It tests you, right? Tests you. Tests everybody. Anyway, long story short, long way of saying I'm staying patient. I'm sitting here watching no structure that's going to give me a trade coming up here. Unless we start to move. We push to the upside. I don't have a trade really at all. I don't know that I'm going to fade a move all the way up there. We crack lower, it's going to be questionable taking a long. If we come through the lows aggressively like we did yesterday, it's going to be questionable taking a long. So I'm going to sit patient here with you guys. It's only 10:06. You know, we got time, but so far this is just not great. Pulling up every day, I don't love doing that. It's just not great structure. So anyway, no complaints. Alan, what's up? Dumon, what's up? Vertigo, what's up? What's happening, man? What's happening, guys? You let me know what you're looking at. You joining this party on NQ? Are you just, finding a way in long? Are you buying it? Looks like just buy the dip on pretty much everything would have paid. Ton of strength off of the open. Pushing all-time highs aggressively. Just a never-ending, somebody said it feels like a never-ending push to the upside. That's what we have. Never-ending push to the upside. I mean, if you're trying to pick a top in that market, that's going to suck. That's going to have sucked. Of course, I'm sure we get a sell-off at some point. I'm sure we get an aggressive turn down at some point. Yeah, man, this is just not it on YM, kids. This is not it. I'm just zooming out trying to get a feel on this, guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna pull. I'm not gonna. This looks like the breakout higher. We came lower, swept down below. Gun to my head, I'm long to this next level. A little bit of frustration here as well, guys. I gotta say, decent read for a move back to VWAP. This really looked like buyers didn't want to give this level up. Decent read back up towards the highs. Just not my trade. Not structure to trade off of. For me personally. So, you know, sometimes you also have to sit, watch the market go. I think this is going to happen next. I think this is going to happen next. I think this is going to happen next. None of these areas give me a good way to structure risk. You know, none of them are key levels. I would not be comfortable taking stop outs in here and out here. And, you know, what I expect to happen is happening, right? That's not enough for me to put trades on. It's really not enough for me to put trades on. So, watching this market push to the upside, and again, I don't know that I'm going to short this up here. I don't think that I am. I don't think that that's a good trade. We have bullish structure off of the lows after session changeover. London, Asia, push to the upside, holding VWAP. We pull back down aggressively, test VWAP, buyers take it higher, we get through news, and we're pushing highs. This is not a mean reversion trade now. You know, at least what I mean, it could be a mean reversion trade, but it's not an into the open, fade the initial movement trade. This is now, you know, fading highs on a bullish day, on a bullish structure. So there might be a trade in here, but I don't know that I want to step in front of the trend like I did yesterday again. Huffing and puffing, guys. Huffing and puffing. Just taking a look at what this looks like. Yeah, I don't know about this. I mean, this is interesting. This is something. I don't know what this is, but it's something. It's definitely something. Yeah, maybe shorts out here. That's really all I'm going to have today. It's really all I'm going to have today. Shorts out here into the 30s, 40s. Not ideal. Not ideal, but that's if we get that, that's probably what I'm going to go for here, guys. Anyway, let's see. Let's see. I'll be right back, guys. Well, I'm staying patient on this market. This really ain't doing too much for me. BRB. Back in action with you guys here. Oh, that looks like some news. Got some volatility to the downside here. Let's see. As I repeat so frequently. Yeah, I'm interested short on this, guys. I actually am. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming we're going to get a headline here that prints pretty quickly, but I am interested in shorts on this. Oh, damn. Let's see. Yeah, more conflict in the Middle East. That's what this is. More conflict in the Middle East. Swept highs? I don't think we come outside of this, guys. This looks like we come back down through VWAP. I'm gonna look for the mean reversion on this, guys. Again, it's not as clean as I'd like it to be. It's really not, but I'm gonna try to get a trade on here with you guys, especially in this prop that I need to trade. Could absolutely blast higher. This doesn't give me a terrible way to structure risk. If we're just going to grind higher, it's going to be a tough play. I'm going to look for a fade on this, guys. I'm in short on this, guys. I'm in short on this. Short 2 at, oh, here we go. Let's see if we can't catch a nice little reaction here. Short 2 at 49, 292. Not the most A+++ setup in the world, but that's what I'm going to go with here, guys. I don't need a lot out of this movement to give me the W that I'm going to need to take a payout in this account. I got to get some trading in here. I had a very slow day yesterday. Again, we'll always tell you, like, if I'm trading a prop firm account versus a live account, we're going to do stuff differently, right? That's just the nature of the beast. You know, you don't have minimum trading days in a live account. You know, you don't have minimum profitable $150 days, right, that you have to trade for. Otherwise, you can't access your money. You know, if you're trading multiple prop firm accounts, you don't have dozens of those to put in, right? You know, that's a major difference there. I'm just measuring this out because I got to do some math here. I think this is the most that I could put up in this account because it is a consistency rule account. 197? Yeah, probably gonna go with that. Go with this for a second here. I want to do some math. Hang on, guys. Let's be exact. 49, 292 minus 49, 198. Yeah, I'm gonna go 197 here. Let me see. What do I need in this thing? 2, 3, 3. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it if I could catch that. It's a pretty negative risk to reward trade, but I have 4,000. Whoa! Oh, we got volatility. We got volatility. My bad. I wasn't even looking at the chart. I'm doing math on the prop account. Can we get a crack down, man? That would be beautiful. That would be really beautiful for my day. I don't know that we're going to. Don't know that we're going to. So this was an account. This was a consistency account. Top of futures. OG instant funded. It's an older one that I've had. This is... I, for some reason, mistakenly put up $1,033 day when the max I should have put up was $600 to meet the 20% consistency rule to be able to take a payout at $3,000 after trading in the live account. I'm trading some instant fundeds with these guys. I have $4,233.76 in profit, I think, if this dashboard is right. I need 5,167, so I pushed the profit target way out, which is a dumb thing to do. I would have been eligible for a payout in this had I not jacked up the consistency rule. That's the importance of understanding the math that I'm doing right now. I think I need $5,168, so that would be $934 exactly. And I have $950 potentially on this one. 49,292. Yep. So let's see what we can do. I don't like that we got bought right back up. We cracked there really aggressively. I need us to come back down to current volume point of control. VWAP being above a take profit area is not very pretty. But I'm going to hang on to this one, guys. I'm going to hang on to this one. We obviously have news coming in here. This is, just so you know what we have going on. Explosions being heard coming out of Iran reporting. UAE announcing that its air defense systems, again, same as yesterday, are engaging with missile attacks and incoming drones from Iran. U.S. government, that's something completely different. But that's, I would be surprised if that wasn't the headline that's causing this volatility. So more conflict in the Middle East, unfortunately. Praying for peace over there. That is negative. That did drive the market lower yesterday. I don't know if it's going to drive the market lower today. In fact, I don't have as much confidence that it is. We reacted really harshly on that, and we're just continuing to get bought back up. My fear on this one is that we don't continue lower, especially through VWAP. But I'm going to hold on to this bad boy for now. Because my trade's on, and that is my approach. This is feeling like buyers just do not want to get off on this thing, man. It's really feeling like that, but I do not have a long play in here. So this is it. This is it, chat. Let's see what we can do. Again, not being that patient here today. I saw someone said patience pays. Yeah, patience does pay. For sure. Looking for a mean reversion on NQ. Going for the 500 level. Before that news looked like started long on NQ at 5 in the morning. Nice. Got in. Nice. Think I might call it a day. Yep. This must be getting paid. Must be getting maybe. Just be patient. Cool. A lot of you guys were being patient. Yeah, patience pays. I would agree. Again, trading prop firms, you know, presents a different dynamic, a very different dynamic, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge to work within that, you know, for sure. Checking some messages as this market comes right back through the highs. This was the fear. But I got to put my trades on and let them play out, right? You know, we had reports come in, 2 wicks to the downside, no continuation. I'm going to see if I'm on the wrong side of this market again today, trying to find a trade, trying to put a trade on, not being as patient as I can, and, you know, how that's going to pay me. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got, chat. Man, negative RR. You like negative RR or you don't like negative RR? I don't traditionally trade with a negative RR. First off, I don't trade with any fixed take profit if I don't have to. There's a reason I prefer and have done so well in accounts with no consistency rule. I don't like running a fixed take profit. I get myself into situations like this where I have to use a fixed take profit and I don't like to. I like to be able to capitalize on whatever the market has to give me. I also end up not closing out my trade when I should and putting up too much profit in accounts and then pushing profit targets out. But in my humble, biased opinion, I don't think there's anything with any risk to reward. So long as you have the win rate to support it, fine. You want to run a negative risk to reward? Fine. You want to run a positive risk to reward? Fine. You're going to need to get past the natural break-even win rate. It's the same challenge. People get too caught up on that. Through the highs, pushing higher back on ES, and on my trade here. Ugly. Ugly, ugly, man. Like I said on this one, not an A+++ trade. I still think we have a chance in here. Not an A++ trade. Really no beautiful mean reversion style play. We come back through the highs to that stop loss. You know, I don't want it short anyway. Gotta try to find a trade. Again, you don't have to do anything, but I like to try to find a trade if I can, especially after, you know, a lot of slow trading, to try to get some progress rolling in prop accounts that I'm trading aggressively, like this one right here. During NYSE session. But let's see what the market's got for me. Let's see. But yeah, risk reward and win rate. They are two pieces of the expectancy puzzle. There's a ton of conversation around, you know, that always, right? Negative risk reward, positive risk reward. And people, I think, lose sight, you know, that we're all up against the same piece. Creating a positive expectancy with a win rate that is past the break-even, natural break-even win rate for whatever your desired risk reward is. You want to run a very positive risk reward, you know, 1 to 2, 1 to 3 in general, you're going to have a lower win rate, right? You're going to have to get past a 35% or a 40%. What that means for your equity curve, right, is you're going to have a lot of losses. You're going to lose more often than you win by way of stop outs, and your winners are going to be much bigger, right? A negative risk reward, you're naturally going to have a higher win rate, right? Maybe you're going to run a 0.5 or a, you know, whatever you want to run, a 0.7, a 0.3. You still have to get past the natural break-even win rate, which is going to be naturally high. You're going to have losses that outweigh your wins. There is some differences when it comes to that equity expectancy calculation, for sure. There's definitely some differences when it comes to what the market has to offer. There's some differences that come into play with the asymmetry that prop firms provide when it comes to risk structure and, you know, cost and all that. But it's a lot similar than you know, what most people make it out to be when you start to look at the math. You know, the question is, can you handle longer losing streaks on the way to larger wins? You know, and can you actually hold your winners? Are you going to do better with, you know, larger losses and more frequent wins? But more so than that, what does the market make available to you, right? What is the edge that you're trying to exploit? Are you trading breakouts and, you know, trading with a negative risk reward doesn't make any sense because you need to hold for these big outsized days? Are you trading, you know, small scalpy movements on the 30-second chart and, you know, a nice wide stop to try to capture a small movement? Makes a lot of sense, right? You know, what are you going for? But the negative risk reward is bad. Positive risk reward is bad. You know, anything over this or under this is bad, or you know, you're a dumb trader for, like, it doesn't matter, bro. We're all fighting the same fight. We're all trying to get past the natural break-even win rate. I do think, you know, when we come to trading in general, just to finish this thought, when we come to trading in general, a lot of people are told you have to run a positive risk to reward. You have to run a positive risk reward. You know, you have to make more on your wins than you lose on your losers. That's how you make money, right? And here's the part that nobody tells you. There's no edge in risk to reward alone. There's absolutely no inherent edge in risk to reward alone, right? You don't make money just by setting a 2-to-1 risk to reward on randomly in random market conditions. You would break even. You don't lose money because you run a negative risk to reward and you have losses that are, I don't know, 10 times the size as your wins, right? You would end break even in natural, with a natural break even win rate in completely random market conditions with no spreads or fees or commissions or swaps if you're trading Forex, which we don't have. Those would all erode it. But it's really important to break past that. You know, you're not going to make money because you trade with a low win rate, high risk to reward, just like you're not going to make money because you trade with a high win rate, low risk to reward, right? You know, it's all of the other factors. Do you have an edge in the market? Risk to reward doesn't give you an edge. You know, it's important to note that. Really important to note that. And I do think a lot of traders get stuck with, I have a 2-to-1. I have to run a 2-to-1. I have to run a 3-to-1. You don't. You don't have to. And maybe that's, the market's not going to give you that. Maybe that doesn't make sense for what you're trying to exploit, right? Maybe you can't handle having an average 35% win rate where you pull up to the market almost every day and you have to lose. You know, you can't handle that. In fact, it is a lot harder to handle. So, you know, whatever the market makes available to you, right? And again, there's an important piece in prop firms with tight consistency rules, right? Running a positive risk to reward on a 20% inconsistency account is like, it's going to take you forever to get towards a payout. You know, it's one of the reasons I don't love tight consistency rule accounts. I prefer ones with no consistency rule. You know, so we are trading on accounts that have different dynamics than a live account, which, you know, are important to take into consideration as well. You know, you have $2,000 worth of, you know, max loss limit to use, and you can only put up $600. You know, think about that. Do the math on that. So, important to note. I don't like it. Why not? Why don't you like it, Amar? Why do you like one risk to reward over another? What's your SL on this one? Wide. Wide. About a 200-point stop loss. 49, 490. I'm just zoomed in watching this price action. You can zoom out so you can see the stop up there. And again, yes, a fixed take profit on this one, guys. So we ended up talking about risk to reward, right? Most of you guys that watch me trade all of the time, I don't like to have a fixed take profit at all. I don't run with any fixed risk to reward. I don't run a negative risk to reward or a positive risk to reward. I don't run with any fixed risk to reward. I run a stop loss and no take profit. I typically enter something really wide where if I step away and I want to be able to put a fixed take profit in at any point, I can do that, right? Today, like I talked about, which I'm not super stoked about, I can only make this much money. I can only make that much. Otherwise, I've already made too much, and I continue to push a profit target out. So that's the thought. More news coming in. More news coming in, guys. On Sunday, White House reportedly told Iran of impending U.S. operation to guide ships through the strait. Axios reporting, citing a U.S. official. U.S. warned Iran not to interfere. Trump going live in the Oval Office to sign a proclamation. We could have volatility, guys. Was this scheduled? Was this scheduled? I didn't have it. Did I miss this on some opening news? Let me see. No, I don't know that this was on the board. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest, but that just popped up. Yeah, guys, we could see some nasty volatility like we have all damn all damn year. But yeah, if you guys want to look at something, I got something good for you. I'm not the mathematician, right? I don't have it all figured out. I don't claim to be some, you know, genius about anything, right? But I do have an in-person presentation. On, it's about a half hour long, on win rate versus risk to reward. If you guys want to check it out, I just searched ASFX risk to reward because it's on Austin Silver's channel. This bad boy right here. I yap for about 30 minutes on risk to reward and win rate, right? My thoughts on them, the math behind expectancy, you know, where I think traders need to focus. So if you want to, you know, learn more about risk to reward, or at least hear my opinions on it, because it's certainly not a complete deep dive, but just the basics, feel free to watch that. You know, feel free to watch that. I get told all the time about different things that, you know, comments like that person made, right? Man, negative risk to reward, I don't like it. Why? You know, why don't we like it? You know, what part of the math or the reasoning do you have that you dislike it? Or even a high risk to reward. Man, I don't like it, right? You know, at the extremes, I think so. You really create a crazy equity curve. But for the most part, like, you know, it's usually coming from a incorrect way of thinking about expectancy and the math, you know? And it's usually coming from a belief that a positive risk to reward will give you an edge in the market. And let me tell you again, I will argue this gladly. Let me preface it. Number one, positive versus negative risk to rewards have different benefits and drawbacks when it comes to calculating expectancy. So you could claim that there's an edge there. I'm going to explain this next part though. In 100% random market conditions, which we technically do not have, but maybe we assume that if we're entering randomly by flipping a coin for buy and sell and entering randomly, in random market conditions, with nothing else that would erode our P&L, like commissions, swaps, you know, spreads, fees, you know, platform, anything, data, we would end break even regardless of risk to reward. You understand that? We would not make or lose money. If you entered with $100 risk and $200 profit target, right? You would end up break even over a large enough sample size, right? Or around break even over a large enough sample size. You would have a positive risk to reward and a lower win rate, whatever the natural break even win rate is for that risk to reward. If you entered with a $500 stop loss and a $100 take profit, you would also end break even. You would end with a natural break even win rate that is high. You would win far more oftentimes than you would lose, right? It's really important to note that risk to reward alone does not create an inherent edge in the market. You might find it to be beneficial when it comes to looking at, you know, expectancy and win rate and trying to get past a natural break-even win rate that's lower. You might find the same for a lower risk to reward, right? But when people yell about one being better than the other because it just is, without providing anything to do with the edge that they're exploiting in the market, it really doesn't, it's not enough, right? It's not enough. So, you know, a lot of us are told, and I used to believe that. I didn't understand that for a long period of time, an embarrassing long period of time. I used to believe you had to run a positive risk reward. You have to risk less than you stand to make on every single trade. You cannot risk the same. You cannot, you know, risk more. You will not make money. It's not good. You will never make money doing that, right? That's not true. That's not the case. So, you know, important to note that they all have drastic differences, which again, I go over in that video. A big part of it is the psychology around how much you win and how much you lose, right? You know, can you handle the losing streaks that come with a high win rate, a high risk to reward, low win rate strategy? Can you handle the big outsized losses that you're going to take that come with a negative risk reward, high win rate strategy, right? You know, what I find and where I land is in the middle, pretty much in the middle. Modest on risk reward, modest on win rate, right? Over a large sample size, I'm closest to the middle ground. You know, I have traders that I trade with that are on both ends of the spectrum. For the most part, they're going to end up with, you know, a 0.5, right? Average win to average loss and a real high win rate, right? Over 70s, right? I got guys that trade with very low win rate. They're averaging 30%. They're losing 7 out of 10 trades. They're almost never winning. But when they win, it's an outsized win. You know, it's a 3R, 4R trade. It makes back, you know, all of the 3 losses that they took that morning and then some. You know, there's not a wrong or right way to do it. It's, you know, how are you able to trade? What edge are you trying to exploit in the market? You know, what is the structure, well, you know, making available to you? And then what's your style, right? What works for you? So again, important to note that. And again, I prefer when I put my trades on not to cap my upside. I prefer to have a fixed stop loss, areas that I'm looking to, you know, reasonably, right? I'd prefer not to target, you know, intentionally target less than what I'm risking, you know, over and over and over again. It requires a very high win rate. I think it can be easy to trade that way or feel easy to trade that way, but, you know, it requires a lot of precision, and a losing streak is going to be tough to handle. And I like to be able to hold on to my trades. My best trades, my best days, my biggest prop firm runs, biggest live account runs are when I hold on to my trades, you know, and generate a naturally lower win rate by doing so. But that's me. So it was a good comment because it sparked this conversation, which is important. And it was a comment based on me throwing a fixed take profit in here today because I got a prop account that I can't make more than this on. Or I don't need to make more than that on, I should say. No, I can't make more than that without pushing the profit target out more. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I enjoy your style of trading. Letting things have room in either direction just seems to work. Yeah. AJ, I did that. I did the other way, right? A lot of guys, you know, are doing this, right? They're on NQ. Most guys, I'd argue, almost every, everybody, and they're doing this, right? And they're scalping like crazy, right? They're super duper tight. And I've done this before. I've done it live with you guys. I've done it with prop accounts. You know, they're trading big size, 5 minis or whatever. And, it's so tight. It requires so much precision. And I think a lot of traders are just not accounting for volatility. They're taking so many aggressive stop outs just by natural small price movements. They're taking, wins by natural small price movements, and it's just so incredibly tight that they never give themselves enough room to work on anything. Do you have to trade YM on the 15-minute? No, of course not, right? Of course not. But for me, this is what pays me best. This is what works best for me. Zooming out, looking at higher time frame structure, I find a lot of success looking at higher time frame structure, price action, volume areas, what the heck we're doing on a higher time frame. Widening out on stop loss, running no take profit. I'm running one today. And just letting the thing rip. That tends to work better for me. That's what pays me best. Now, is it going to pay me? Did it pay me yesterday? Nope. Is it going to pay me today? We'll see. Has it paid me in the long run? Absolutely, man. And that's all I care about, guys. And that's all you should care about for yourself as a trader, which is the other mindset paradox that I yap about all of the time. But whatever works for you. If super duper tight take profit and stop losses work, that's fine. Have at it. Do it, man. If that makes you feel good, do it. Whatever seems to work, whatever pays you best. It's playing around. First time I saw you was that presentation. Nice, Dwayne. Yeah, man. Nice, nice. I will be back out there. That was from Tampa of last year, guys. That was from Tampa of last year. I will be back there next week. Headed back to Tampa for the ASFX in-person boot camp next week. I'm super excited about that, man. So I will be streaming next week into the beginning part of the week. Latter part, I will be out. Checking a couple things. Yeah, let's see what this market's got for me today, man. Let's see what this market's got. Let's see what the market's got. Let's see what this market's got for me. But yeah, man, that was from Tampa last year. Let me pull that up again. I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited to get back there. I won't pull up videos, but essentially it's an in-person boot camp that ASFX puts on, Austin Silver. And last year, I think for the first time, he invited a bunch of guest speakers, or more than he usually does. This year, he's got a ton of guest speakers, man. I'm super excited. I work with a lot of the guys. I talk with them regularly. A lot of badass traders. Not talking about myself when I say that. A lot of big names in the space. Brian Shannon, the godfather of Anchored VWAP, will be out there. A couple of other guys that I haven't met before, which is really cool. But that's next week on Thursday and Friday. So I'll be off the desk, out of the office, starting on Wednesday next week. But I'll keep you guys updated. I'll talk to you in Discord about it. But I love the in-person stuff, man. I really love the in-person stuff. Yeah, so, you know, again, market's got to decide if we are going to push this thing higher. Someone said, can you explain the short? Yeah, man, you can just rewind the video, you know, rewind the live if you want. I won't go back through and repeat myself over and over and over again. But you could watch, you know, my thesis, my markup on the chart for the morning, you know, me talking about the trade, you know, how much I like and dislike it, and then watch me put it on. But looking at this, man, market's got to decide if we want to keep grinding higher, which we made the case for it so far. We got to decide if we want to keep grinding higher, if we're going to catch a nice pullback. If we catch a nice pullback, are we actually going to come through VWAP and kind of turn this thing around, or are we just going to wick lower and then push to the upside? I don't mind what we have going on so far. I would have loved on that initial volatility to catch a quick W. You know, we haven't gotten that lucky. We caught some nice volatility. This did not hit VWAP, as VWAP was not up here. It was all the way down here as that was printing. But we got to see, man. We got to see. This is holding so far. It's making the case for the grind higher. It's making the case to come up towards this area that I was looking at off of the open for an aggressive push to the upside. YM would definitely need some sellers. We dipped our toes outside of this, and you know, we've hung out at this area right here. I'm looking for us to come right down to this current volume point of control for session. Yesterday's, what is this, value area high? We did retest this already for the session. We came all the way down here. You know, I don't love that for my trade, but I do like this high volume node that I'm trading towards. So we shall see. We shall see. I'll be in Tampa for the event. Oh, AJ. Awesome, dude. Awesome, man. Hyped. AJ, dude, are you were you part of Austin's community or somebody else's community that's going to be out there, because there's so many guys. It's epic. Be fun to meet everybody. Yeah, man. It's awesome. It's an awesome event. Ran 1,000 tick SL at 6 p.m. open and was so relaxing. Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen, if you're going to run wide stops, you got to hold your trades. That's part of it. But if you're going to shoot for big movements, right, maybe it's good to have an invalidation point that's way out of the way. I think that could be helpful. Guys, I'm going to grab another drink. I'll be right back. Letting this trade do its thing. I got to take profit and stop loss in. Ain't much for me to do. I will be right back. Chatty McChat. Back in action with you, boys and girls. Back in action with you. Trade ain't doing much. Trying to decide if it wants to come back down through VWAP. We gonna find out. We gonna find out. We're gonna find out if market wants to work with me today. Let's see, man. Let's see if we can't take a payout today, or if we're gonna put an account back in drawdown, or not in drawdown, but still be in profit, just not be close to taking the payout. Started listening to Austin's podcast, which is how I found you and Drysdale. Have kind of popped between you three just to find what works for me. Awesome, man. Yeah, three different styles of trading for sure. A lot of similarities, I would say. A lot of tools that overlap. A lot of similar, mindset, but not all the same, right? Definitely different styles. You talk about scalpier, higher frequency of trading. Drysdale's definitely going to be that guy, right? Definitely going to be much higher frequency of scalping throughout the session. 5 or so trades I think is going to be fine for him. Austin much heavier on VWAP, bookmap as well, but big time VWAP guys. Also pretty scalpy, trading ES, right? Also different instruments. A little bit more with the trend, right? Trading in the direction, buying into pullbacks, above VWAP, things like that. My style is going to be a little bit different as well. But I think, like you said, you could take from everybody, right? You might say, hey, you know what? I love trading VWAP. I love trading, breakouts in the direction of trend, but I also like using some tool that Drysdale uses. And maybe I like using all the tools that Drysdale uses, but I like to take, 1 or 2 trades a session, not, 10. And, that suits me from what I do over here. So yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. In fact, that's what I think you should do. You should maybe pay attention to other traders that are, providing some value, giving you some good ideas, and then make it your own. But you have to make it your own. You'll never do exactly what I do. You'll never do exactly what anyone else does. The guys that tell you that, the chat's eating. Look at everybody took this trade. Like that stuff is ridiculous, bro. That makes absolutely no sense to me. It's never worked. It never will work. It's just an exploit the beginners, you know? So, you know, if you're here or on anyone else's channel for signals, you will lose money. You will only lose money in the long run. It's really important to talk about. It does not work. It's never worked. You're never going to be fast enough. There's always going to be latency. Even if there's low latency and you are fast enough, you're never going to be able to manage the trades the same. Never, right? Even if you put fixed take profits and fixed stop losses, they're not your trades. You don't have confidence. You don't understand what you're doing. And more important than any of that, even if it all worked and you were able to make money for a little bit, you tethered yourself to another person, right? You know, you're trying to ride somebody's coattails instead of developing anything that you'll ever be able to do yourself and scale with. And as soon as that goes away, so does your income source. So that's not a good thing to do. Increasing CVD here on ES. Volatility to the upside. Man. Finding buyers down here, man. Continuing to probe back up on YM. Really would have loved to see volatility to downside. We are not getting that. It's making the case for the grindy day higher. ES is pulled back, held VWAP. This could be the breakout coming into the 11 a.m. time frame. We got our IB high up here on most of these. What has NQ done? IB high up here. We go and crack that. You know, we're making the case to not come back down. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Similar on YM. Similar on YM. So let's see if we can snag it today, guys. But it's in the market's hands. It's in the market's hands. I can do whatever it wants to do. All I can do is put my trades on without reservation or hesitation after waiting patiently. And I will say I wasn't too patient today. But catering to some of the dynamics of trading with prop accounts. That's part of it. Started listening to Austin's podcast, which is how I found you, Drysdale. Kind of pop between you three just to find... Oh, sorry. I read that already. Market was moving so nicely, proof garbage. Yeah, it's just slow grind to the upside. Unfortunately, headline news not doing what it did yesterday. I wasn't trading just directly into that, but we got more of it. Pushed the market lower. Buyers are not giving it up today. Looks like we tested lower on higher time frames, and we want to drift higher ahead of NFP Friday. If I had to make a case for the other side of my trade, we don't really want to chop down here, so not looking great. 100% true. Yeah, I've noticed the same. All the mentioned names, as well as ace of trades. I find my strategy is a combination of your first styles. I find it provides a very adaptive system that works for me. Awesome. I was introduced to all of them through your live. Zach, when you take a version trade, VWAP, why not? Why do you not get out at VWAP? What percentage of the time do you think it has caused you to go red? So first off, this didn't hit VWAP, right? This didn't hit VWAP. First, it hasn't hit VWAP here, and it definitely didn't hit VWAP 38 minutes ago, right? VWAP was significantly lower. It's getting drug up. How many times will I hold through VWAP and will I take a red trade because I've attempted to hold VWAP? I attempt not to hold through VWAP if I don't have to. VWAP is a tough line in the sand. It's definitely a tough line in the sand. I think if I only ever traded from the extreme back to VWAP, I would have to run a tighter stop loss. I would have much less opportunity for gain on the trade. I don't have to run a tighter stop loss. I could run a really negative risk to reward. But I'd have a much less opportunity for gain. And I think in the long run, and the reason that I don't do that, is it would hurt me more than it helps me. I have far more often trades that continue to where I take profit and farther than stop at VWAP and turn around, right? So for all of those reasons, you know, no just take the trade off at VWAP or buy off of VWAP or sell off of VWAP. I think VWAP is really important. It's a very, very key, important, dynamic tool to use throughout the trading day. But I'm definitely not that black and white with it. Definitely not that black and white with it. So hopefully that that helps. But I would say if I took every trade off at VWAP, structuring my trades the way that I structure my trades now, I wouldn't grab nearly enough profit to outweigh the losses. And if I tightened up on my stop loss to just make every trade a back to VWAP trade, I probably would take more stop outs than I do now. So for me, I'm not looking to close my trades earlier at VWAP. I'm looking to hold them longer, in fact. I'm looking to hold them as long as I possibly can. But looks like it's going to be starting the week off with just some trash, man. Yesterday was really not great, really not A+. Not super excited to take an L down here. Today, like I said, not being patient. Definitely not an A++ trade. I don't take a continuation style trade, especially not on this type of structure. But not beautiful structure for the mean reversion trade, right? It's not an off the open pop to the upside and a sell back off. It's not a quick dump to the downside and then a push back up. It's similar to yesterday where I took an L. Cracked to the downside, held at VWAP after bullish structure. You know, I'm getting short in here after we find some sellers. I will say we did get some confirmation on this trade. For a quick crack back down. Looked really nice as we traded 56 points in my direction. But not now. Definitely not now as we're continuing to find buyers and push to the upside. For me, leaving it on. Stop loss, my standard 200 point for the most part, I'm happy with. But an invalidation point on this one would allow it to come up here. I think easily we can wick up here and come back down if this is going to be a choppy day. But we're not making the case for that. You know, at least right now, we're not making the case for that. We're making the case for this just push higher. But throw my trades on. I trust my stop. I manage my trade in profit if I have the opportunity to. I don't today. But feels like it's going to be a demonstration of what not being patient and not just going no trade does for me. But we'll see. We'll see. Still got time. 11 o'clock. But again, NYSC just hasn't given me a lot to work with, guys. Given me a lot to work with. So I'm gonna have to decide if I want to start forcing trades and taking, you know, subpar stuff with you guys here in an effort to just not hop on and watch it and go no trade, no trade, no trade. Or try to trade a different time of the day, which I don't see myself doing live. Talked about doing some trade review, which I have in the works on trades taken outside of the live sessions. But market won't do this stuff forever. You know, just like it didn't give me beautiful mean reversion trade after mean reversion trade back to back to back. I think I had like a 7 live session green in a row with you guys. But that's part of it, man. Part of it. Let's see, man. Let's see. Other things I was working on today. What was my note for today? Oh, talk about account sizes. If you guys got questions, feel free to let me know. We could yap about whatever you guys want to yap about. I made a little reel about it. I had a lot of questions. People asking me about prop firm account sizes. Differences between the 50K and the 150K accounts. I'm trading some of the 150K accounts. We could talk about that if you guys want while I'm watching this trade to just drift to stop me out or catch a nice reversion. We shall see. But let me know. You should trade after IB is set. No, I don't think so, Purple Ninja. I appreciate the suggestion, but no. I do find a lot of my winning trades come before IB is set. IB is a strong statistic. It's something I take into consideration. Like now, where we've broken the IB high, it is much much less chance that we come back down and break the IB low. But I don't find that waiting until 10:30 a.m. or after will help me at all. But it might help you, right? And, you know, maybe others. I did have some stats coming into the end of last year that right off of the open, my win rate was pretty low, like really close to the open. But I found I had a lot of clean setups that started to come that I sat out of, and that giving myself the ability to trade right into NYSE Open is something that, you know, and I've traded into NYSE Open with you guys a couple times on here, is something that pays me, right? Waiting an hour, definitely not something that I'm looking to do. I've done that before in the past, you know, longer periods of time, especially if I'm going for something that's a continuation, you know, break and retest and then in the direction of the trend, but not something that that I'm looking to do. But again, you know, you could use whatever you know, whatever stat you like, for sure. Yeah, man, just drifting higher. Just drifting higher. Where's the Trump headline that, you know, we're not happy with Iran and we're we're gonna have an issue? Let's see. Let's see. I thought we were gonna have Trump streaming in the Oval Office. Do we have that? Yeah, it doesn't look like it's about much of anything. He's got a bunch of kids behind him. Yeah, I don't even know what this live stream talking about. The Olympics. I don't even know what they were talking about there, but it doesn't look like anything that was going to be incredibly market moving. Interesting. There we go. Big push higher. At that level that I had marked out pre-market for a really aggressive pop to the upside. Stop loss is outside of that. Grindy day higher. Similar to yesterday, man. Similar to yesterday where we had that grindy day lower. I'm selling into a push to the upside after a test down, after VWAP. Man, getting backhanded for not going no trade, right? Not going no trade. Talked a little bit about it as I was putting it on. Wanted to get something on for this. Wanted to get some frequency of trading going so I could work towards trading a bunch of the props that I'm trading. But this is a good demonstration and reminder that, I mean, we're not dead yet, but not looking great. That oftentimes just sitting patient and not doing anything is going to pay you better in the long run. For this one, it's, like I said, an account that has a lot of profit in it. Too much profit that I haven't taken a payout on yet. Need under $1,000 to put the amount up to take a payout on. If I take that stop, I will be halfway back down. Although drawdown's locked, I'll still have plenty of room to work. But it won't be super fun either way. It'll be super fun either way. Oh, streaming is hard. Audience pressure is tough. Yeah. I don't find it as tough. Say on the trader, it's definitely an interesting dynamic. And I found it earlier on. Like, I've been doing this for a couple years now. I found it earlier on, like, people want to see trades, right? People want to see trades get put on. They want to see scalping. I know that because as soon as I put a trade on, my view count jumps. My view count, my concurrent view count, total view count, likes, comments, everything is higher with trades on, obviously, right? It's live trading. You know, people want to see trading. So there is that interesting dynamic. I've quelched that a little bit, as you can tell. Like, I think I'm the lowest frequency trader when it comes to people that trade live out of everybody, just because I don't do that, right? As far as people critiquing me, Purple Ninja's on here all the time. I love him. Yeah, you know, people saying you should do this or you should do that. You know, I don't really take that into consideration. I think it's always interesting to hear people's feedback. But what works best for me is not going to work best for you, right? And what works best for you is not going to work best for me. So in general, you know, we could talk about trends and things over larger sample sizes that are going to be important, things that we notice in our trading. But, you know, everybody has an opinion, right? There's a saying about opinions. But that's okay. That's totally cool, right? Totally cool. And I had a lot of opinions, especially when guys were taking losses like I might do today again. And that's kind of what you get. You get a lot of comments about what you should do differently and how dumb you are for taking a setup in an area. Like, I used to get it on X all the time. Why would you do that? It was so obvious. I'm like, was it? Was it so obvious? But yeah, not so much. I don't worry too much about it. Mr. Trump, save us. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's a joke, by the way. Where's the Trump comment to send us to the moon or send us to the ground? Yeah. Top 1 futures on 150K account. How much do you need to get buffer before you start to earn? AP. Didn't mean no disrespect, man. No, for sure. For sure. For sure. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, not worried about it. Let's talk about it. Depends on the account that you're on. But if you are trading a top 1 futures instant funded account. Ooh. This looks a little differently. What? Ooh, they changed the site up. Interesting. Cool. Cool. If you're trading a top 1 futures 150K account, let's go to instant sim funded accounts. Here's where you would find it. Let's go to payout requirements, right? And you need to put up 6%, right? 6%. So it's $9,000 in the 150K account. It's $3,000 in the 50K account. And you have to have a 20%, you have to meet a 20% consistency rule. No single day of profit can be larger than 20% of the total profit in the account when you go to request a payout, right? And then you can see in the 150K account, you can take up to $3,500. A pretty fat payout. Up to $3,500 in the 150K account, up to $2,500 in the 50K account, which is the one that I'm trading right now and trying to take a $2,500 payout with you guys today. Market just not working with me. It's not working with me at all. But these are for the instant funded accounts, right? Like you saw, they've got a couple of different accounts on here. They're all going to be different, right? The different challenge accounts and your Ignite or your instant sim funded, right? The OG instant funded. But if you want to check out Top 1 Futures and get 50% off, since we're talking about it, plus an additional 5% if you bundle accounts, code RDF gets you the best deal. Link is pinned to the chat to all of, in my humble biased opinion, the best prop firms, most of the best prop firms in the space. You can check that one out. Been trading with Top 1 for quite a while. I've taken a lot of payouts with them. Been trading with Lucid this year, Top Step, Take Profit Trader. I've taken payouts with all of those guys, multiple from all of them. I'm also now back to trading with Alpha Futures, or starting trading, I should say. Starting trading more seriously with Alpha Futures and Tradeify. I'm getting moved into a live account with Lucid. I can't trade with them for probably a couple of weeks. I got the email yesterday about onboarding and said right now their time frame is about 2 weeks, not to ask them questions or ask them to make it go faster. So it'll probably be towards the end of this month before I could trade a Lucid account again, and it'll be some live accounts, hopefully plural. But in the meantime, in continuing to scale up, be trading Alpha Futures, a new premium plan, Tradeify Select Flex, Lucid Flex, oh, excuse me, not Lucid, Top Step, just the regular Top Step standard path, and the Take Profit Trader. Take Profit Trader doesn't have any choices, it's just one account. And top one, the instant funded accounts, while they are cooking on some new evals. I've heard they're going to have something rolling out in the future that's going to be extremely competitive on the eval side. That's my prop rotation outside of live accounts. Yeah, Take Profit Trader is awesome. We'll speak on that. That intraday trailing drawdown kills me, bro. It just is not how I trade. It's not the style that fits well with me. It's harder. It's objectively harder. But for someone like me that holds trades, it just is not good. It just does not work well. And it's such a good account if you could get through it. But man, like I've probably done the worst with them out of everyone. I've definitely done the worst with them out of everyone this year. And it's for that reason. It's for that reason. But great firm, fast payouts, awesome back end. But you know, no free lunch. Like we talked about that across different firms. No free lunch. Long eval too, 5-day eval. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out and watch this one with you for a little bit. 11:15. If you guys got questions, comments, you want to yap about anything prop firm related, trading related, let me know, man. Because I'm chilling, sitting patient on YM. NQ, just taking a look here. Pushing highs. NQ is just like close your eyes and buy. Really, for as long as it's as long as it just keeps going up. ES, I mean, they're not blasting highs. ES trying it. Looks like they do want to sweep it. Coming into 11:15 here. We caught a nice rejection on YM, at least to wick up. We're going to make a decision here whether we want to come back down here, whether we want to come back down here, or if we just want to grind higher. Let's see what Marcus got for me today, man. Let's see what we can do here. This was a couple minutes ago. Trump says stock market is at an all-time high today despite the skirmish. Iran has no anti-aircraft capabilities and no leaders. Here's some notes coming out of Trump. It's not a true social headline, but this is the most recent high-impact headline. His comments. Iran has no chance. They never did. They know it and expressed it to me over the phone. Not doing well. Must not be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. We've beaten Iran badly. Iran reduced to little boats with machine guns. Okay, so just a whole bunch of like negativity and him commenting that stock market's at all-time highs. Obviously, the market liked that so far. Market has liked that so far. Not much different. I think we're at risk after, you know, if he's talking about that. We're at risk of another set of comments out of him that could be positive. Interesting. Let's see exactly when that was. Yeah, we didn't we didn't pull anything too crazy. I mean, we were moving pretty clean in here. Oh, man. Chat. I can sense the Trump crash. Yeah, I don't know. Man. I like the way we rejected up here on YM. ES and NQ still pushing higher. Again, what would have been really nice was what I was aiming for in here. Really nice rejection off of this level after a wick higher. I got in on that. Just did not crack through. To come and hit current volume point of control. You know, nice high volume node down here. We have to push higher. We wicked all the way outside. Again, you know, stop loss is where it needs to be outside of this high volume node. If we come up here, you know, we put a big bullish day in, right? I'm completely dead wrong shorted. You know, we're 430 points on the day. So we'll see. You'll see. Not dead yet, as I like to say. It ain't over till Trade of 8 goes stop filled. It ain't over till the Trade of 8 AI sings. So we'll see. Zach, is heat map even useful? Yeah, I do find bookmap to be incredibly useful. I do like to pay attention to it. It is secondary to me. For me, the way that I trade it, I don't use order flow primarily. I'm not a strictly order flow based trader, right? I'm not trading a DOM. You know, you should be able to tell that from all of my trading. You know, first and foremost to me is basic technicals. Price action, market structure, right? Like individual candlesticks and volume. Price action, meaning like candlesticks themselves as they're forming. Market structure, maybe we're talking about highs and lows, tops and bottoms, where we're going to mark out some discretionary levels. Volume, mostly horizontally displayed volume. Visible range volume profile, session volume profile. And then, you know, secondary to that are a lot of, you know, important things, still very useful, which would be bookmap, right? An order flow software that shows me live liquidity. And then things like News Squawk, right? News, some information on what the heck we got going on. I think through different market conditions, different tools are going to be more or less useful to you. And maybe you adjust with the market a bit. But I will say for sure, I find heat map, especially watching ES's heat map. Again, I was born and raised watching this one when I started using order flow because I wasn't using it for forever. I was not born and raised trading bookmap. I do find it to be useful. I think it'd be really important to take a look at where we have really key levels of liquidity, where we have big areas, how we're rejecting or how we're, you know, continuing right through those levels. Taking a look at cumulative volume delta, I find to be pretty interesting throughout the day. And then utilizing that in the same dumb guy way that I attempt to use the technicals on my chart, right? You know, but I'm not someone to say, okay, well, we got, you know, like super forward with it. We got orders at 81, so I'm going to trade right to 81, and when those fill, I'm out. Stop loss at 78, and, you know, like I'm not that aggressive with it. But I do find bookmap to be helpful. I don't find it to be really distracting. Again, it's just nice to have it on the side. Take a look at what's going on. Scalp an NQ with it is pretty interesting. A lot of guys get really, really zoomed in, and you know they're looking at where the next area of big liquidity is, and you know if we come up there, what happens? Stops outside of that. If we start to drop, we got a big run all the way down to like the 28,110s. You know they're using these areas as potential support and resistance zones, areas of interest, right? So it can be definitely helpful. I think you do have to watch it for a while. I think it looks very different through different market conditions, different days, right? Around different times of the year, around rollover. But I think it's useful for me. And I don't find it distracting, which I think is really important. You know, you could have too much on your chart. You could have too many things on your screen. And there's only so much you can process, right? There's only ever going to be so much information that we can take in. And there's an upper limit, right? Before you start to not focus on things that are important to your trading. So, you know, if you find, hey, I tried out bookmap. If you want to check out bookmap, link is in the chat as well. Pinned if you want the best deal. 50% off. If you tried bookmap and you go, hey, you know what? This is confusing. I don't like it. I can't get a good feel for it. And it distracts me from my engulfing, you know, hammer candles that I trade. Then, you know, don't use it. Same with News Squawk. If you're like, hey, I don't like to pay attention to headlines at all. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to read it. You know, none of that stuff is good for me. You know, then don't do that. So, but for me, I do find bookmap useful, but I use it again in a more secondary layer way. I definitely take a look as I'm entering trades. I do like to take a look as I'm entering trades. You know, do we have big stacks of liquidity anywhere on the book that I'm curious about? 350s filled. So, yeah, I do find bookmap useful. Morning, man. Grombus. Oh, man. We got an OG. What's going on, dude? What's going on? Welcome. Welcome back, my man. I haven't heard from you in like half a year, dude. What's up? Hope all is well. That's the fun part about streaming and having a community. Like, I'll have people, somebody made a meme about this. I'll have people, there we go, yo, Fast Money remembers. I'll have people that'll be on stream for like months every morning. They'll be in, you know, whatever, and then they'll have to go do something. They got to take care of other stuff in their life. Sometimes they'll say bye. Sometimes you'll just never hear from them again. Sometimes they'll pop back in. So we got one of those. Rhombus, what's up, dude? Love the new setup, but I got to admit, I like the dark theme. Cough, 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 Project X days, cough. Yeah, man. I feel you. We changed up some colorways here. Went light on the screen, light on the eyes. Had to wake everybody up. But yeah, I do like the dark theme. Still on Project X here and there, and I think my Project X is still dark. Yeah, it is. It is still a dark chart. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Anthropic, I can't even pronounce this. Revenue grew 80x in Q1. Crazy. Man, yeah, guys, this thing is just slow moving. I'd love to see it rip for me, but for those of you guys that hopped on late, I am in a short 2 minis here on YM with a fixed stop loss and take profit, not in the usual spots. This is an instant funded account, one of the few that I'm trading. I'm only trading with one firm, top one, with a consistency rule that I've already exceeded. I can't make more than that take profit, which is why it's there. I'm running a wide stop because I got a lot of profit in this account. That's not helping me take a payout either. I'm going to let this thing run. I'm going to get ready to wrap this one up and let this thing run, man. Not much else for me to do. I'm not going to close out at break even. I'm not going to close out at VWAP. Purple Ninja, you can decide. You can come back to me tomorrow and, you know, we'll see if closing out at VWAP today is going to have not closing out at VWAP today is going to not have helped me, at least on this second test down. Again, VWAP gets drug up or drug down as price action's printing. But that's gonna be my play, guys. I'm gonna leave this one on. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna sit here and just watch this trade drift around for forever. I don't assume we absolutely sell off here. I was kind of waiting to see if we caught some really aggressive sellers. I would love that for this. Whoa, not that. But yeah, I'm not just gonna sit and watch it. Anyway, guys, 2 hours on the stream? Yeah, 2 hours 15 on the stream. Guys, I appreciate you. We're back here live tomorrow. We're live in Discord. We're live everywhere. Hop on the live streams here, 9:15. I'll keep you guys updated. If I manage this any differently, I'll try to call it out. You know where my take profit and stop is. You know if I'm hitting take profit, I'm taking a payout. You'll see that one. If I'm hitting stop loss, I'll be here tomorrow trading again with you guys. Either way. Listen, I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you. Y'all are awesome. Quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you always do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if funded prop from accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer. This is I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Like top on futures code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. Important for me to note that, for you to do your own dang research and make your own dang decisions. I appreciate you guys. Let me throw the link to Discord in real quick. Actually, you know what? Guys, here is all my links. Where's the live chat thing? Hold on one second. Damn, I can't even find it. Hold on one second. Let's get Discord in here. There we go. If you're not in the Discord, here it is. Chatty McChat. Appreciate you guys for being on here. Thank you. Y'all are awesome. I will see you live tomorrow. Keep you guys updated. Thanks.